Bebop. Hey guys, Bebop here. I wanted to make a video showing the build I'm currently running on my Paladin going into Vika's Hard next week. So while Maxroll has some excellent Paladin builds, I did not see this one there the last time I checked. This particular build comes from a lengthy class interview that ATK did with a Gigachad Paladin player on the KR servers, which I definitely highly recommend watching. I'll put the link in the description below. Having run this build for a couple of weeks now, I wanted to make a short and sweet video of how it works. So you can see my Paladin is here in Trixian. Let's check out my abilities. So this is what I'm currently running. I've got a level 59 Paladin, so no level 12 skills. Level 11 and 12 skills don't matter as much on a Paladin because you're not really focused on doing damage so much. So maxing out your skills to 10, that's the most important thing. So here's what I'm currently running. So I'm running Holy Sword. Holy Sword is an excellent counter. This really helps out on Vaultin a lot. It's also excellent stagger as well. The tripods I'm running for that: positioning, outburst of light, and release light. I've got my Executioner's Sword, so that's the second and final blue ability I'm going with as well. Again, this is another counter. This is also excellent stagger, and it does weak point, which is important for Vaultin. So here, I'm running excellent mobility, running weak point on it right now. I've been using this for Vaultin, so weak point is important, and Executioner's Strike. Now, obviously, these can change, and that's going to kind of be the case with Paladins in general. You're going to find that you have a lot of situationally different skills you can use or different tripods you can use, so always keep that in mind. This is currently what I'm running now. Again, a lot of this is for Vaultin. Next, we have Heavenly Blessings, so this is kind of a core skill of the Paladin. You will essentially always run this skill. The tripods I'm running are Faith. Faith is extremely important. Anything that you have that you can run Faith on, I definitely recommend running Faith. I also recommend, if you're going for your level 4 tripods, the first level 4 tripods you should get are going to be your Faith tripods. Getting your piety meter to 100% as fast as possible is very important. You give your team an extra buff, you give them some extra protection, and you give them some trickle heal over time. Valor, which gives 15% of your attack power to all party members within 24 meters for 8 seconds. So this is pretty baseline, cookie cutter, and Absolute Blessing, which will give some MP recovery. This ability pretty much never changes from build to build. You're going to run this. The next ability we're running is Light of Judgment. And the reason we run Light of Judgment is simply for the piety meter gain. So obviously, this one we're going to run the Faith tripod on it. I'm also running Swift Fingers, and I'm running Righteous Light. So the thing about this ability here, and I'll show you, is you've got these two tripods. So Sustain turns it into a holding move. Now obviously that requires you to stand in place, and it requires you to hold it and put you in some dangerous situations. Running Righteous Light, you tap it once, and there you go. You've got a bunch of piety meter. You've got your Blessed Aura here. And it actually gives you the same piety meter gain whether you're running Sustain or you're running Righteous Light. So I run Righteous Light for the quick cast so I can get it off and hit the boss and get my piety. Now, because we're not running Light Shock, okay, the big thing that Light Shock is usually run for is to put Light's Vestige, which is the 10% increase in damage from all party members to the boss. Because we're not running that, we need to run something that's going to put Light Vestige on the boss. And for that ability, we're going to use Sword of Justice with the tripod's Insight. Insight takes this kind of lengthy 15-second cooldown ability, and it takes it down with haste. I'm running about 1600 haste right now. It'll take it down to like 5 or 6 seconds. That's important because we need to keep up the Light's Vestige debuff on the boss, which is going to last 10 seconds. So having a cooldown of 5 or 6 seconds gives you a little wiggle room with this ability. The other thing that gives you some wiggle room is when you choose the tripod Dazzling Light Sword, as long as the boss is staying in place, and that's the one thing that can be difficult about this ability, Swords keep falling from the sky for 3 seconds, and each time they hit the boss, they're going to apply that Light's Vestige debuff. So let's check this out. And you can see the swords are constantly hitting the boss, so it stays at 9 seconds. 9 seconds, as long as they're hitting the boss. I put Conviction on this ability. And if you guys know anything about Judgment and Conviction, you probably know that it's best to put it on multi-hit abilities, because each hit has a chance to proc Conviction or Judgment, whichever one you're using. Each time this ability hits, it has a 40% chance, because I'm running the legendary, to apply Conviction. So not only am I applying the Light's Vestige debuff, but I am also proccing Conviction. And that's why we're running this in this build. So next we're running Holy Protection, which is the shield. Again, this one has some versatility to it. So I'm usually running Quick Pace. Vow of Light is usually what you want to run. It's going to give your party members a bit of a heal when the shield is expired. But this middle row here, you can pretty much run whatever you want depending on the situation. So you can have a longer shield, you can cleanse, which is really important on Vulcan, phase 1, the wolves. Or you can run Robust Protection, which gives them more shield but lowers the duration. So Godsent Law is an extremely powerful paladin spell. Not only does it give you your party damage reduction with the Crace tripod, which is the last one here, but it also provides a shield in the first set of tripods for your party members, as long as they're within the circle of Godsent Law when you're casting it. But if you run wide angle attack, you have a much larger AoE radius, so it's easier to get your party in that circle and give them the shield and also give them the damage reduction. Now, this ability, I am running Judgment. So Godsent Law is another important one. It fits in your rotation with the Conviction and Judgment, and then it also is a massive damage reduction for your party, and it gives them a little shield as well. So it's a very, very powerful ability. Wrath of God, pretty standard tripods I'm running. Wide Thunderstroke, Faith. Again, Faith is piety generation, so we want to run that where we can. And Express Fury gives 15% of your attack power to your party members, so it's the same buff that Heavenly Blessings gives with Valor. And between these two, you can kind of cycle it and have a high uptime on that attack power buff that you give to your party members. For the runes, for Holy Sword and Executioner's Sword, I'm running Overwhelm. It's going to increase the stagger damage. For Heavenly Blessings, Light of Judgment, and for Wrath of God, I'm running Wealth runes. These are faith abilities, so obviously they have great piety generation, and I'm adding the Wealth for some extra piety generation as well. And then we talked about Sword of Justice with Conviction, Godsent Law with Judgment. On Holy Protection, I run Galewind, which increases the cast speed so that it doesn't get canceled. Paladins don't have the greatest of super armor, so if you get knocked, most of your abilities can get canceled. So this is a good one to run. So now that we've seen my abilities and we've seen the tripods, let's take a look at the rotation really quick here. So when we open up the fight, we want to put the Light's Vestige debuff on the boss. And we can see here my piety meter is pretty much 0. So we're going to see how much piety I get from these abilities. So we'll hit them with the Holy Sword. I've got Conviction. And now I've got Judgment. After Judgment, I'll hit my Awakening. So while Judgment is active, I hit my Awakening. It reduces the cooldown. All right, I've got my first Blessed Aura. So while Blessed Aura is active, there's no reason for me to hit a Light of Judgment, right? I can save the mana, I can save that ability, because it's not going to give me any piety while Blessed Aura is going. So I'll hit him with my Heavenly Blessing, apply that attack power buff to my party, and then I'll just go through my other abilities as well. I can hit him with Light of Judgment on cooldown, which is going to give me some more piety. Again, Holy Sword. And I can proc Judgment for some extra mana. Didn't proc that time. No problem. Keep going through my abilities. Hit him with that again. And now we've got Judgment. And you can see we're never really getting down on the Light's Vestige. And this is basically the rotation here. Light's Vestige, we have 100% uptime. We have high uptime on our attack power buff. And we're gaining a ton of piety meter. And you can see here too, between the swiftness, 1600 swift, the conviction and judgment, judgment being active when we hit our awakening, we have great cooldown reduction on our awakening ability. Now, the one thing you should note here while you're watching this character is I'm actually going into vehicles with a 222 set. So I still run the Argos set, which is basically does pretty much nothing for me. However, I am running the Swamp of Yearning, which is going to be the endgame set that we want on the Paladin. But I also went ahead and got the Dominion Fang 2 set just temporarily while we farm out the materials on Viacus. And this one actually reduces the cooldown of your awakening and gives you an extra awakening that you can use within the fight. So these numbers that you're seeing on screen now are going to be a bit skewed. These cooldown on the awakening is going to be a bit skewed by this set piece. But I'll tell you, before I was running this 2 set, I was having like a minute or a little bit less than a minute of a cooldown on my awakening ability, which is great. Okay, some other things you might want to see on this Paladin. So we saw 1480 item level. I do have a lot of swiftness, 1600 swiftness, some spec, which is going to give some more strength to Blessed Aura, some more piety meter gain. You want to put that on your neck, so you want spec swift on your neck. And then if we look at my engravings, so these 3 engravings are the only ones you absolutely need. You want Awakening for your reduced cooldown on Awakening and the extra uses. You want your Blessed Aura and Expert. Expert gives you more strength to your shields and your heals as well. Now the extra tripods I'm running, the 4th one I'm running is Vital Point Hit. So this is one of the optional additional tripods you can add to your support character to aid your party more, to support your party more. Vital Point Hit will not only help you on stagger checks, but it will also take that purple staggered bar down faster, which gives you the down periods of the boss where you can do some extra damage to them. So having that Vital Point Hit will just give you more of those, give you those quicker within a fight, and allow your team to do some extra damage to the boss. You can also run Drops of Ether. Magic Stream is a really good one to run. Magic Stream, if you don't get hit, you get a stacking buff, which gives you cooldown reduction. And as a support, cooldown reduction is really, really good. This tripod, there might be some contention around this, but Crisis Evasion, running that at level 1 is not a bad idea for prog groups. So Crisis Evasion is basically a cheat death that can proc every 15 minutes. Keep in mind, it does not reset if you reset the fight. So it's just a flat 15 minutes. Crisis Evasion is proc during a fight. You have 15 minutes, no matter how many wipes you have in between, 15 minutes until it comes back. Having a cheat death is pretty nice. It can allow you within prog to make a mistake or two and just come back from it and support your team. Especially in early prog, if a support dies, the rest of your team has a higher chance of dying. So I run Crisis Evasion. I find that I don't use it a lot or at all after that first week of prog. So my plan is eventually to replace this with Magic Stream 3. But we're going to run this for the first week of Viacus. And then gems. The only ones you care about here are the circles. These are the cooldown gems. So for some of these, you want to get as high as you can, especially for your abilities that have long cooldowns. The damage gems don't really matter at all. Okay, card set. I'm running the max HP set. So the more your HP, the bigger your shields. They're a percentage of your HP. All right, so let's go ahead and test this out in a real gameplay situation. We're going to go ahead and do Descaluda, 1415 Guardian Raid. It's the highest Guardian Raid we can do until some new content comes out. It's probably going to be quick, but we just want to show you what this build looks like in a real gameplay situation. Let's go to matchmake it. First step, find the boss. Okay. Oh, we missed that. And that's the one problem with Sword of Justice, is when the bosses move a lot, you can miss it. We're going to hit it there. We're going to proc our Conviction. We're going to try to proc Judgment. We didn't, no worries. We're going to keep up the attack power buff with Absolute Blessing or Wrath of God. You don't want to overlap those two abilities. Hit him with the debuff again. And keep building Piety. And we procced our Judgment. So we're going to quickly get up and we're going to hit him with our Awakening while our Judgment is active. And that was close. We almost missed it, but we got it. Now we've got our first Blessed Aura. Again, trying to keep our attack power buff up, counter the boss, got him, and keep the debuff on him. Now, I'm not using my Light of Judgment because I had my Blessed Aura up and I don't need the piety meter. Now that Blessed Aura is down, I'm going to keep generating piety. Now, you can use your Holy Protection to shield people or to give them some nice little heals, because remember, after that shield expires, it gives them heals. So it doesn't always have to be used as a preventative measure. It can be reactive as well. It can be used to trickle some heals in. So we're just going to keep cycling our buffs and the debuffs. We're going to get hit by stuff, apparently. No problem. Now, my Awakening is off of cooldown. Again, I'm running that Awakening 2-piece set. But I almost have full piety, so I'm going to save it. I'm just going to pop this Blessed Aura here that I gained naturally through using my abilities. Again, holding Light of Judgment because I don't need it. Keeping the debuff up on the boss. Keeping attack power buff rolling. And I'm going to keep peppering in some stagger because I'm writing that Vital Point hit. And this boss does have a purple stagger bar, even though you cannot see it. Alright, Blessed Aura is ended. Oh, well, that was going to be a miss. Alright. Try and proc Judgment here. And we're going to hit him with Awakening. And we've got another Blessed Aura. See, so this build, even without the Awakening 2-piece, it's really great piety generation. Really great for proccing Blessed Aura. Really great for keeping the debuff up on the boss. Okay. So he's usually going to stop where he started here. Ooh. Not facing the same direction. Try and proc Judgment again. That missed. It's okay. We have such a low cooldown on it between the gems and the swiftness that we'll hit him again, and we're not going to lose the 100% uptime on that buff. Keep trickling and peppering in some heals here. And some shields. So God Sent Law doesn't always have to be used to proc your Judgment. It is a shield. You can use it for shields as well. Alright. Okay. Now we got another Blessed Aura. Lots of Blessed Auras. Get that attack power buff going. Proc Judgment so we can get some mana back. So with Conviction Judgment, this build really doesn't have mana issues at all. If you were not running Conviction Judgment, I would definitely expect you to see some mana issues. So keep that in mind. Okay. Okay, we're going to try and... Okay, let's try and proc Judgment again. Oh, we missed. Ooh. Not good. We should have used the Holy Sword there. I bet you that counter would have hit. That Beam of Light will still counter him, not just the first hit. So as long as that beam is ticking, it can still do the counter. So we're not getting the judgment proc. It's okay. We're just going to use this here because I feel like this fight is almost over. There we go. So, not perfect, but it kind of gives you an example of how many blessed auras you can get, how quick that piety generation is, and how easy it is to cycle keep the debuff 100% and cycle your attack power buffs. This is a really great build. I'm expecting it to do really well for Vicus. There is some stagger stuff on Vicus. I might switch out for some abilities depending. The great thing about Paladin is they're super versatile, so there's a lot of viability to different builds and different abilities, different tripods and stuff. So this is by no means, you know, the end-all be-all build. It's just a really good one, and I wanted to show a video of it in use. Definitely check out the ATK class interview with that Paladin. It was super inspiring. He's really good, and ATK just makes really good content in general. If you guys want to check out more from me, I've got a few videos posted now. Hopefully we'll post some more. I do main a Gunlance, and I want to do a build video on that, so we'll expect to see that. We are planning on progging Vicus, and I'm planning on streaming that live on Twitch. So if it comes out the 23rd, as it should, we're going to do a Thursday, Friday, Saturday run starting at 9 p.m. Eastern server time for NA East. And then we're going to do a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday run as well on the 27th, 28th, and 29th. So that will be starting at the same time too. I'll probably be doing my Paladin on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm not 100% sure. And then the Gunlance, if you guys want to see a 1500 Gunlance completely overgeared in action, you can check that out probably on the Thursday, Friday, Saturday stream. So prog is going to be pretty difficult, so any support would be awesome. If you like the video, go ahead and like it and subscribe if you want to see more. I do plan on posting more content. And yeah, check out the stream. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.